All right, boys and girls, here's the what we're calling the ultimate General in its natural habitat somewhat. So I got the GMRS system all done. Everything's all wired up and in. I added a blinker kit, which actually looks pretty sweet. Added some mirrors. So I went with WD Electronics. I think it turned out pretty good. Integrates into the dash. So it blinks in the dash. Here's the GMRS system. Rugged radios. Did quite a few modifications to make it fit, like put the heater down here and a few other things. But I think it turned out pretty good, all in all. Radio down. The other cool feature I added is the outside door handles. It makes a huge difference. You wouldn't really think of it being that big a deal, but when the upper doors are on it, especially, you can reach in here, you know, open it up, whatever. But my little guys, they can't reach that high, so I have to open the door for them and then, you know, reach inside and pop the door handle. It's just kind of a pain. So I think for the money, they're worth it, and it kind of hides, you know, this color's light colored, and I wasn't sure how it was going to look, but the way that the graphics run, it pretty much hides it, which is good, because I wasn't a fan of, you know, the smaller handle than the rear one, but it hides it. When you step away a little bit, you can't really notice it's there even. Here's the sequential blinkers. Again, little modification there. They originally had them figured so that they would go right in here, but you have to push your headlight back to make a 1/4 inch gap in here, and then it just pinches it, and it's actually too long, so you would have had to have like drilled the hole up in here and pushed it through here and drilled the hole here, and you know, so that it was laid in there nice. And then obviously your headlight's not going to be aimed the way that it's supposed to be. So I modified it. I went in between the plastics, between the outside plastics and the inside plastics up here. I think it looks pretty good like that. So like basically a running light. Integrates into the rear tails. So you use your factory tail lights as your blinkers, which is pretty nice. I think most of the kits do that now, but so that should be the last things. I say should, somewhat loosely. There's a few things left to do, or left that could be done, I should say. Not a ton, but there is some. Oh, I got the wiper done too. Show you that. So I wired it into my aux beam switch. With auto. So it goes back to home on its own. But I think she turned out pretty good. I got the spare tire carrier on the back. I have the spare. Somebody mentioned something about has everything but a spare. There is a 5th tire, it's just not on it. Depending on what kind of riding we're doing, whatever, you might not want to have the spare on it. Just depending on how rowdy or how backcountry, I guess. At the moment, it's got the shovel attachment on the back. I'm thinking maybe another roto pack on the other side of it. We'll see. We'll see what stuff gets used the most when we're out and about. But I think it turned out really good. The antenna for the GMRS, actually kind of neat. It tucks into the RBO rack. I don't know if you can see that in this light, but it tucks into the RBO rack in a way that when you pull it in the garage, it doesn't smack the garage door, and it's not whipping constantly. And it's a little lower profile. So normal riding, you can leave it like that. We need the radio you can't for some reason get a signal, you can always pop it up and have the extra length to take care of the signal issue. All in all, I think it turned out pretty darn good. Like I said, the only thing I think may possibly be in its future, just dependent on a few things. Portals for certain situations, certain trails. But otherwise, on 32, it's going to be a pretty big, it's going to do what it needs to do. It's not a purpose-built mud machine or nothing. It's to get out in the woods and hunt and fish and camp and just enjoy being in the outdoors. So next thing I got is a Razor Pro XP 2022 build for a guy, and a Renegade 2022 Renegade four-wheeler. That's going to be a pretty big build, so kind of keep an eye out for that. I think that's going to be pretty neat. It's an XMR, the mud machine, so we're going to do some things to enhance its capabilities. And the Pro, we're going to try and put some bigger tires and rims on it, lighter setup, obviously more power. We're going to try and get a fair amount more power out of it. It's different cage, different seats. It's going to be pretty mega build as well. Maybe not quite as large as this, but that's going to be the ultimate trail rig, I guess, if you will. A little more speed machine, a little less outback.